Welcome back to my channel, Famous and Fabulous. Have you ever been lying in bed at night looking up at the ceiling and thinking about whether the people who say they love you really mean it? Have you ever thought, do they love me for who I am or for what I can do for them? That quiet, heavy question sits in the hearts of so many of us, and it's the very same question Johnny Depp once said out loud, a question that weighs more than all the fame, all the money, and all the cheering. Do you really love me, or am I all alone? Think about that for a minute. This is a guy who has lived his whole life where everyone can see him. Millions of fans love him. His movies have made billions of dollars at movie theaters. His name has been on magazine covers for years and years. But underneath it all, Johnny still worries about the same fear you and I might feel. That's what makes his story not just about Hollywood, but about all of us as people. Because if Johnny Depp, with all his success, can feel this lonely, then maybe being lonely is something we all go through. No matter who we are, Johnny's life has always been kind of mysterious. From the first time he came to Hollywood as a young actor in the 1980s, people could tell that he wasn't like everyone else. He wasn't trying to be famous. He wasn't crazy about being the biggest star. He wanted to be an artist, someone who took weird, dangerous parts, someone who built worlds through his characters. That's why he picked parts like Edward Scissorhands, a kind outsider who wanted to fit in, or Captain Jack Sparrow, a funny pirate who wanted freedom more than anything. In many ways, those characters weren't just jobs. They were like looking at Johnny himself. Someone looking for where he belonged. Someone wondering whether people saw him for who he really was. Now think about what it feels like to always have people watching you. Camera lights flashing in your face. People yelling your name. Strangers trying to touch you. Fans writing letters that tell you how much they love you. It sounds like something amazing. But there's the truth. Getting attention is not the same as being loved. People thinking you're great is not the same as real connection. Johnny knew this better than anyone. The clapping always stopped when the cameras turned off, and what was left was a man still asking the most human question. Am I loved, or am I alone? It's easy to think that famous people have everything, but if you look closely at Johnny's life, you see cracks in that idea. Behind the sparkle of fancy events and the noise of big movie openings, he carried a quiet loneliness. His relationships were often hard, sometimes beautiful, sometimes hurtful, but always where everyone could see. Every breakup became a newspaper story. Every mistake turned into a big deal. Think about going through a broken heart while the whole world watches, ready to judge, ready topic sides. That kind of pressure can make anyone feel cut off from others. And for Johnny, it only made the question that bothered him worse. But let's stop for a second. This isn't just about Johnny Depp. This is about you, about me, about everyone who's ever wondered if the love in their life is real. Maybe you've been in a relationship where you gave everything, but deep down you weren't sure if the other person was really there for you, or just for what they got from you. Maybe you've had friends who went away the moment life got tough. Or maybe you've had times where you looked around, saw people laughing and smiling, but still felt completely alone inside. Johnny's question becomes our question too, and that's where the sadness is, because being lonely doesn't always happen when you're by yourself. Sometimes the loneliest place is when lots of people are around. Johnny felt that all the time. He was loved on movie sets. People said great things about his acting. He was around. People who wanted to be close to him. But how many of those people saw him, the man, not the star? How many loved him without strings attached, without wanting things, without wanting something back? People who study how our minds work say this is one of the hardest parts of being famous. When you become like a symbol, when you turn into someone people look up to. People no longer see you as a regular person. They put their dreams on you. They want you to be what they imagine. And slowly, you start to lose track of who actually cares about the real you. That's what Johnny meant when he asked, "Do you really love me?" Because how do you know if love is real when everyone around you has something they want? But there's more to his story than sadness, because even with the loneliness, Johnny also found where real love lives. Not in the crowds, not in the newspaper stories, but in the quiet parts of life. His children became what kept him steady. Being a father gave him something no movie or trophy ever could, a reason for living. He once said that the most important job of his life wasn't Captain Jack Sparrow or Edward Scissorhands or any of the characters people loved him for. It was being dad, and that says everything. Because kids don't care about being famous, they don't care about money, they care about being there, about love, about what's real. Music also gave Johnny that same feeling of being real. Long before Hollywood, he played guitar, and throughout his job, he always went back to music as a safe place. When he played, he wasn't being watched as a star. He wasn't pretending to be someone else. He was just Johnny putting his feelings into the guitar strings. Music didn't ask anything from him. It gave back calm and honesty. And isn't that the same for us too? Real love doesn't come from the loudest people. It comes from the people who show up quietly, all the time, without asking for anything back. Maybe for you, it's that one friend who sends you a message out of nowhere just to see how you are. Maybe it's the family member who believes in you even when no one else does. Maybe it's the boyfriend or girlfriend who sees you at your worst and stays anyway. Those are the people who answer the question. They're proof that you're not as alone as you think. Johnny's story reminds us of this simple truth. You don't need the whole world to love you. You just need the right people to. Because the love of millions doesn't matter if you feel like no one sees you, but the love of one person, real and without conditions, can change everything. So, maybe the real power of Johnny's question isn't in the fear it brings. Maybe it's in what it reminds us. Our reminder to look around our own lives and ask, who loves me no matter what? Who sees me when no one is watching, when the lights are dim, when I have nothing to give? Those are the people who matter. Those are the people who prove we're not really alone. And maybe that's the most beautiful part of this story. Johnny Depp, with all his fame and mystery, ends up asking the same thing you and I do. That means we're not so different after all. He's not just a Hollywood star. He's a man looking for love, connection, and truth. And if he can ask that question, then maybe it's okay for us to ask it too. Maybe it's not a sign of being weak, but of being strong, a sign that we care about love enough to want it real. So, let me leave you with this. Think about your own life for a minute. Think about the people around you. Ask yourself, if everything I had was gone, if the job, the importance, the money, even the health went away, who would still be there? Who would still love me? That's your answer. That's your truth. That's the love worth holding on to. And for Johnny, maybe that's the journey he's still on. The search for real love. The kind that doesn't go away when the lights go out. His words, do you really love me, or am I alone? Aren't just him telling us something. They're a mirror that shows us what we all want. To be seen, to be beloved, to not be alone.